Have you ever felt like life was just too much? Like the odds were stacked so high against you, they were impossible to climb. If you have, then you need to hear the story of a girl who faced a life so tough, it would have broken most people. This is the story of how a homeless girl from Alaska, armed with just a guitar and a voice full of pain, became a global music icon. This is the story of Jewel. The story begins on May 23rd, 1974, in the small town of Payson, Utah. A baby girl named Jewel Kilcher was born, but her story wasn't destined for a quiet, suburban life. Soon after her birth, her family packed up and moved north, way north, to a remote ranch in the wilds of Alaska. Life there was about as raw and real as it gets. Imagine a childhood without the comforts we take for granted. No running water, no central heat, just a rugged, old homestead surrounded by vast, open land. Her companions were horses, the smell of hay, and the untamed beauty of nature. It was in this rugged landscape that Jewel's voice first found its melody. Even as a small child, music was a part of her. By the age of 6, she wasn't just singing to herself. She was performing. She joined her parents on stage, yodeling in rustic bars and small, smoky venues scattered across Alaska. She learned to command an audience before she even fully understood what that meant. It was a unique, almost magical beginning, but the magic didn't last. Home, the one place a child should feel safe, started to feel like a battlefield. By the time she was 8, the foundations of her family began to crumble. Her parents' marriage fell apart, leading to a bitter divorce. Her mother left, and with her departure, Jewel's childhood stability vanished. The happy family act on stage was just that act. Behind the scenes, life was becoming increasingly difficult, leaving a young girl to navigate a world of emotional turmoil and uncertainty. At 15, Jewel stood at a major crossroads. The home she knew was no longer a safe haven. She made a choice that seems almost unthinkable for a teenager. She left. She chose a path of uncertainty, a path that would be incredibly hard, but it was a path that was hers. It was a chance at something better, a chance to escape the instability that had defined her recent years. Her talent was her ticket out. She earned a partial scholarship to a prestigious art school, the Interlochen Arts Academy in Michigan, to study voice. It was a dream opportunity, but there was a catch. The scholarship only covered part of the tuition. For a girl with no family support and no money, this could have been the end of the road. But Jewel wasn't one to give up. She showed a resilience far beyond her years. Back in her small Alaskan hometown, she organized a benefit concert. The community rallied around her, raising the funds she needed to make it work. She packed her bags and headed to Michigan. A.T. Interohen! She didn't just refine her voice. She found a new one. She learned to play the guitar and began writing her own songs. This was a turning point. Her music became a vessel for everything she had been through. She poured her pain, her hope, her fears, and her raw, unfiltered truth into her lyrics. The songs were more than just melodies. They were pages from her diary, confessions of a soul that had already seen too much. It was here that the artist we know today truly began to take shape. After graduating, Jewel set her sights on a new life and moved to San Diego, California. She was full of hope, ready to chase her dream. But the reality of city life was brutal. She was just another aspiring artist in a sea of hopefuls. She took whatever work she could find to survive waitress. Secretarial jobs and a thing to pay the bills and keep a roof over her head. The dream felt further away than ever. And then things got worse. Much worse. At one point, she lost a job. Unable to pay rent, she was evicted. Her car, which had become her only shelter, was stolen. And just like that, at 19 years old, Jewel was homeless. She lived on the streets, sleeping in the back of vans when she could, finding shelter wherever she could. It was a terrifying existence. She battled crippling panic attacks, constant anxiety, and annoying fear for her safety. This wasn't just being poor. This was survival, day in and day out. She hitchhiked across the country, her guitar her only constant companion. She played in coffee houses and on street corners, singing two strangers not for fame, but for spare change, for a meal, for a glimmer of hope. Her songs became her lifeline. In the darkest, most desperate nights, when it would have been so easy to give up, she never stopped writing. She never gave up on her music! Because for Jewel, music wasn't just an art form or a hobby. It was the only thing that kept her going. It was her therapy, her voice, her reason to believe in tomorrow. And then, after years of struggle, a breakthrough. A scout from Atlantic Records saw her perform at a local coffee house and was captivated by her raw honesty and unique voice. In 1995, at the age of 21, she released her debut album, Pieces of You. It wasn't an overnight success. The music industry was unsure what to make of this folk singer with lyrics that were so deeply personal and unflinching. But slowly, surely, the songs began to connect with people. Listeners heard the truth in her voice. They heard their own struggles, their own heartaches, their own hopes reflected in her lyrics. Songs like Who Will Save Your Soul and You Were Meant for Me climbed the charts. People resonated with her story, her authenticity, her scars. The album became a smash hit, going platinum over and over again, selling millions of copies worldwide. From sleeping in vans, crippled by fear and uncertainty, Jewel rose to become a star. A genuine music icon. Her voice became a comfort for the hurting, the lost, and the broken. She had turned her deepest pain into a source of strength, not just for herself, but for millions of others. Jewel Kilcher's journey is a powerful testament to the human spirit. It's proof that your beginning does not have to define your end. Her story teaches us that when life pushes you to the very edge, sometimes the only way forward is to find and trust your own voice. She could have been another statistic, another forgotten dream, but she held on. She believed in her music, and more importantly, she believed in herself. So, the next time you feel like the world is against you, remember the girl from Alaska? Remember the homeless singer who became a millionaire music icon? Because when you truly believe in yourself, anything is possible. Thank you so much for watching. If this story inspired you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories of incredible resilience. We'll see you in the next one!